everything been coming along?
Good. I've been studying since May, and I'm in Spain right now, so I've been taking it easier since I took the November LSAT flex because I was doing it every single day, literally, and I definitely burned myself out. So now the month of December, November, like towards the end of November, I'm taking it way slower, like 2 to 3 hours instead of 6 to 8, which was it really take a toll on me when I actually took the exam because that's when I freaked out and I just completely doomed it low key on purpose. So,
Yeah, of course. No, there's definitely a big difference there when you've got proper balance, a proper schedule versus just giving it your all, which in some cases can be too much.
yeah. So I'm hoping, and since I've actually signed up to your course and I looked at the videos, I have skipped several of them because I think I know the foundations. I'm just looking at my weak spots now, and I've seen an improvement because I didn't see the necessary assumptions the way you would explain it. Necessary and sufficient were the ones that I was having trouble with. So I guess that's my main weaknesses right now. And I don't know if you have any other feedback to say other than what you already said in your courses or something, or in your experience of taking the LSAT. Like you prepped for a year, so I mean, you know how it is.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I've put everything I possibly can into the course and I'm adding more all the time,
Yeah,
both through course videos and live online classes. And so you can always attend class and ask specific questions as things come up. But there's no one general thing I could tell you that I haven't already shared for my course students. If you're having trouble with necessary and sufficient, that's
mm-hmm.
definitely an area to review and make sure you thoroughly understand in depth. I have various workshops covering it in different contexts.
Yeah, you
For
do.
example, so if you're looking at logic games versus logical reasoning, I could definitely talk a bit more about either of those depending.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess my questions would more be directed to logic reasoning.
Sure.
So it's tricky because it's the one part that I first started off the worst, but it's the one section that I've incrementally increased slowly, but I feel like I'm not there yet, and I've done so much work. So I'm starting to do it from zero, which is categorizing each type of question stem and just working on my weaknesses. And I guess my biggest problem is identifying if like the gap. Like I know there's a premise and a conclusion, but sometimes I don't know how to connect it. So I don't know if you have any
Yeah,
wisdom
of
on.
course. Well, I mean, the issue isn't always to connect them. It depends on the question type. Sufficient assumption, yes, that is often the case.
Mm-hmm.
In other cases, it's more informal logic where your task is really to just better understand the gap there. So it's not about connecting things. I mean, you can make the argument relatively stronger or relatively weaker. And so you're moving closer to connection or farther away from connection.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's always around understanding the gap. And that's what the Socratic review method is all about.
Understanding. Okay. Yeah, I see that there's a pattern within that understanding the stimulus, because if you see it, you like there's going to be the answer choices that I feel are trap answers that everyone goes to and what I used to go to, but I had to take it a different perspective and understanding the connections and what they're really saying. So that's when I really saw my score improve. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm kind
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, what have you done regarding Socratic review method? What have you done in terms of articulating any potential disconnects you might have when it comes to understanding the gap in an argument?
I guess I've only done reviews of just like arguments, doing the whole 26, 25 questions in under 35 minutes before the LSAT November flex. So I would just do a lot of arguments, and I stopped actually taking a moment to see, okay, this is a sufficient or this is a necessary. I kind of just read really fast, and I was doing them all of them under time, but it wasn't efficiently. So now that I prefer to, after the November flex exam, now I'm taking it slower. So I'll probably take 20 questions, but I get a higher score before, like answering all of them at once. So I guess what I'm doing now is just, for example, jotting down each question stem and what they have in common, or what you should be looking for. And yeah, I'm just doing like that, and then 20 questions on just like, for example, necessary assumptions or something like that.
Okay, I mean, that's a perfectly good drilling strategy if you notice that you have trouble with a particular question type. You also spoke about maybe skipping some of the toughest questions and focusing more on the ones you do complete, which is a reasonable strategy depending on what you're shooting for and what you're finding might work or not when it comes to section strategy. But what I'm most curious about for you in terms of deepening your understanding is engaging in that Socratic review method process for every question that gives you trouble. It's not always about question stem type. The gap is about the argument in the stimulus specifically. So you could try out things like paraphrasing the stimulus in your own words or reframing the argument from different perspectives. So if this is a strengthening question versus a weakened question, how would that affect things? Or if it were a flaw question or a parallel reasoning question, could you reframe the entire question into a different perspective?
I never thought about that because I thought the Socratic method, I took it as differently. I didn't take it that way.
Check out the recent classes because that's really been the format, is walking through that review process live.
Yeah. And your tip that you gave that for the speed reading, it actually improved my reading score because I didn't understand how I could also improve my reading comp. And I think that's only up to you to do and to just really get used to, your eyes reading and your brain reading. And since I've done that quick, or put an article in and try to read faster and understand what the meaning of words are, it helped a lot. It really did.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really have that many questions. It was just like the argument part.
Yeah, of course. Sure. What's your target test date?
16th of January.
Cool. All right. So you've got just about a month.
Yeah. And I've been studying.
Good. That's plenty of time where you can make a lot happen in terms of, again, deepening your understanding, taking exams and reviewing them in depth. But I really want you to change the nature of your review to be more focused on, instead of just drilling question types that give you trouble, looking at the arguments themselves and making sure you thoroughly understand them from different angles.
Okay. Look at arguments for sure. I've never done that before. So I know that will help. Different perspectives. Because I feel like I've gotten a lot of easy ones wrong, and I feel that could have been avoided. So definitely.
This is the work. This is the work. And write something up modeled on what I'm doing in class, and feel free to send it over and I'll be happy to take a look to make sure you're going about it the right way.
Oh, okay, cool. Wait, the worksheet that you're meaning? What is it?
So the Socratic review method template.
Oh, okay.
So adapt that for a question of your own, a question that you come across that gives you trouble. And you'll see how I demo it in class. And then you can walk through that process yourself.
Oh, okay. I got it. I'm writing it down. Okay. And I don't know what else I should say or ask, to be honest.
There's nothing else you need to say or ask right now. It sounds like this was the biggest challenge you were facing. And we addressed it.
Yeah, and I've actually seen your YouTube videos since May when I first started, and I also looked at your college admission videos. So the reason why I even joined your course was because of YouTube. And I was like, okay, well, let me do something different the last month. And it definitely helped me a lot. And because of the LSAT Unplugged group, I've had the study group going on, and it's helped me also because she explains what she thinks of it and I explain what I think of it, and we're just very compatible, and it's different reviewing something but with someone else than by yourself. So it's kind of fun. It's not, I don't know, it's like I explain the things and it's like going in class, and I kind of like it. It goes by faster, and I've seen improvements too by that way.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear it. I love when students connect and get to work together like that.
Yeah, so I was very happy for that.
Awesome. Great. Well, keep at it. Keep watching the videos. If you have any questions or need anything at all, reach out. I'm happy to help.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.